Go forth and set the world on fire. Those words from St. Ignatius are heard daily at Christ the King. They are both encouraging and a challenge. But beyond mere words, the students also know that the faculty, staff, corporate work study sponsors, donors, and their families are all there to walk alongside them. Sister Mary Frances McLaughlin embodies that love and dedication to Christ the King. She was born and raised in Chicago in St. Gertrude Parish and attended the Immaculata High School. She joined the Sisters of Charity of the Blessed Virgin Mary in 1960. Dedicating her life to education, Sister Mary Fran taught high school in St. Louis and Dubuque, Iowa, served as director of BVM admissions, spent 16 years in campus ministry at Augustana College, Purdue, and Loyola University, Chicago, before landing at Carmel Catholic High School in Mundelein as president for 10 years. During her tenure, the school built a state-of-the-art science center and received the U.S. Department of Education Blue Ribbon Award for the 4th time. That's quite a career, and she hasn't even set foot in Christ the King yet. But after retiring from Carmel and taking a brief and well-earned sabbatical to study in Belgium, she returned to Chicago. The search for her next challenge quickly presented itself when her brother Bill told her about a new Cristo Rey school in the Austin neighborhood called Christ the King Jesuit College Prep that was just getting started. She immediately fell in love with the mission and signed on as the development officer for Major Gifts. The year was 2008. Sister Mary Fran seems to know every Catholic in Chicago, and she quickly put her Rolodex to good use to spread her enthusiasm for CTK and to build a strong base of support. She quickly became a mentor to the younger staff members, a wise counselor to the school's leadership, and a friend to all. Relationships are important to Mary Fran, and she looks for the potential in everyone she meets, and she usually finds it. Along with her delightful sense of humor, she also has an uncanny ability for bringing in homemade cookies or her famous scones at just the right time to lower the stress level and cheer everyone up. Sister Mary Fran retired from Christ the King at the end of 2012 school year, but was quickly pulled back into service at Carmel Catholic High School as interim president for the better part of 2 years. Then, in 2014, Sister Mary Fran returned to Christ the King as a member of the board of directors, where she continues as a passionate and valuable contributor to this wonderful school on the west side of Chicago. We have come a long way in 12 years, and we owe a lot of thanks to Sister Mary Fran for helping us get where we are today. St. Ignatius also said, "Love is shown more in deeds than in words," and Sister Mary Fran's deeds speak volumes. It is now my honor and great privilege to introduce the first honoree of the Footsteps of St. Ignatius of Loyola Award and my good friend, Sister Mary Frances McLaughlin.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am honored to receive the Footsteps of St. Ignatius of Loyola Award, and I am so grateful and humbled to be the first recipient. When I learned about this award, I wondered, how have I followed in the footsteps of St. Ignatius of Loyola? But then I know that Ignatian spirituality took root in me during my early years as a BVM sister. The principle from the spiritual exercises that I have steadily carried with me is that of finding God in all things. Reflecting on that principle, I often find God speaks to me through the people who have been a part of my life. My family and my BVM sisters who are here tonight, my lifelong friends and acquaintances, and yes, sometimes even strangers. My 12 years of association with Christ the King has certainly awakened within me a deep sense of God's work among us, especially in the various ways thousands, and I mean this, thousands of people have taken on the mission of this school. Each one of you supports us in some way through gifts of time, talent, and treasure. And some of you, like me, can even recall our first gala at the Garfield Park Conservatory. In August 2008, the Chicago-Detroit province of the Society of Jesus made a decision to establish a Cristo Rey school on Chicago's west side. We spent our opening year at St. Martin de Porres School, a temporary location on Washington Boulevard in LeClaire. I remember how often Jesuit schools and communities throughout the province rallied to our doorstep in those early days. Jesuit sponsorship continues today in keeping us authentic and on track to carry out our mission. We are blessed. In our early days, our board of directors set CTK on a strong foundation and took on the construction of a new school on Jackson Boulevard. I considered our board members giants. Turnover has occurred, but the giants remain, with different names and faces, expertise and backgrounds, bringing new energy and skills to our board and solving challenges the first group could not have even imagined. We are blessed. An African proverb reminds us that it takes a village to raise a child, and we know that it also takes a village to educate one. Being a school in the Cristo Rey network widens the perimeters of that village to include the workplace. Imagine yourself at the age of 14 spending an 8-hour day in professional workplaces like a law firm, a bank, a hospital, or a local church. We are so grateful for the job partners that we have for our students, but we always need help in finding more for our future growth. We are so blessed. The CTK faculty and staff go the extra mile in giving students their best in class instructions, encouraging students to do more, reaching out to those who are struggling or experiencing just a bad day. Also, from Jesuit volunteers to members of the Ignatian Volunteer Corps, volunteers at CTK bring job experience and life experience to our students. They are awesome. President Clement Martin and Principal Temple Payne are exceptional leaders, providing stability and leading Christ the King to new growth and excellence during the last 6.5 years. We are blessed. My favorite event at CTK is the annual College Signing Day in May, when seniors announce where they will attend college, what they plan to study, and what advice they would give to the underclassmen. They give advice like, work hard, don't give up, persevere, and don't skip an assignment. Our students are extraordinary in overcoming obstacles and setting themselves on pathways to success, with a lot of help from the school and corporate work-study community. Their parents and families have placed a great deal of trust in Christ the King and hold fast to their dreams and hopes for their children. We indeed are blessed. Thank you for coming to King of Heart tonight, and thank you for this honor. I am so grateful for the past 12 years. Let us celebrate tonight in the company of one another. Enjoy a delicious meal and conversation with students among us. And let's raise our paddles high as we continue to go forth and set the world on fire.